Hi, I'm Owen Fairclough at the White House in Washington, D.C. With the world's media, you can see a mass behind me. Nothing unusual about that, but there is something very unusual about no less than 6 European leaders and the head of NATO jetting into Washington, D.C. to flank Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy at the White House for a crisis meeting a little earlier this Wednesday on a path forward for peace for Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. All of these members of the media, including myself, have been following a meeting that wrapped up a little while ago at the White House, hosted by US President Donald Trump with Zelenskyy and those European leaders. You'll remember that just days ago, Trump had another summit in Alaska with Russian President Vladimir Putin, but came away from that somewhat empty-handed. No concrete path forward for a peace deal. The tone of this meeting at the White House was much more positive and potentially yielded a concrete breakthrough, with Zelenskyy being open to a trilateral meeting with Putin and Trump. So those discussions are ongoing, but there are plenty of thorny issues. Some say intractable issues right now. Remember, Ukraine and its European allies wanted a ceasefire in place as a prelude to a peace deal. Russia and then Trump wanted to go straight to a peace agreement. That's complicated. Ceasefires have implications for things like prisoner swaps, humanitarian issues, and so on. So that's partly why Zelenskyy and his European allies want that. But Trump did appear to be open to some kind of ceasefire. He said he will relay all this to Vladimir Putin. But there are other considerations as well, potentially Ukraine having to give up territory in exchange for Russia freezing its front lines in certain part of Ukraine. Zelenskyy wants security guarantees, something akin to the mutual defense pact that NATO allies have, but crucially, Ukraine will not get the NATO membership it's been craving for years now. And there are a whole host of other issues as well. Russia potentially wants Russian to be an official language in Ukraine. Yes, in parts of eastern Ukraine, particularly in the Donbass region, which is highly contested, there are many Russian speakers, but that would be something that's sensitive potentially for Ukrainians. So a huge number of issues on the table. Trump has indicated that he wants some kind of path forward in the next 2 weeks, but it's not clear what kind of timetable that is. And of course, he has to put all this to Vladimir Putin. I'm Owen Fairclough at the White House in Washington, D.C.